3. True horror stories from Reddit that will keep you up tonight. Not all nightmares happen when you're asleep. These are 3 real horror stories from people who say they lived through something they can't explain. Watch until the end. One of these stories ends with a detail that still haunts me. Story 1. The Man in the Rearview Mirror. I was driving home from my night shift around 2:30 a.m. The road cuts through the forest, no lights, no other cars, just trees and darkness. I glanced into my rearview mirror and saw headlights. Nothing unusual, until they disappeared. Not turned off, just gone. I pulled over and got out. Nothing behind me. The road was empty. When I got back in the car, I saw a man sitting in my back seat. Pale skin, blank eyes. I didn't even have time to scream. I blinked, and he vanished. My car wouldn't start for 10 minutes. The mechanic later said there was nothing wrong with the engine, but I'll never forget the cold breath on my neck that night, or how the rearview mirror never fogged up, even when everything else did. Story 2. The Basement Door. When I was a kid, my grandmother told me never to open the door under the stairs in her house. That door stays shut, promise me. I was curious. I always thought it was just old junk or a broken boiler. One night, when I was 11, I stayed at her place alone. Thunderstorm. Power outage. I lit a candle and walked past the basement door. It was open, just a crack. I looked inside. Total darkness, but I could hear breathing. I closed it gently, trying not to make a sound. The next morning, I asked her why it was unlocked. She went pale and said, "It shouldn't be. I nailed it shut 20 years ago." Then she showed me something. 3 long scratches on the inside of the door. They weren't there the day before. Story 3. The Whisper Through the Wall. In college, I lived in a cheap apartment with paper-thin walls. One night, I heard my next-door neighbor crying, then whispering. It sounded like she was begging someone to leave her alone. I figured it was a bad breakup. I knocked. Silence. The next day, I saw the landlord. I mentioned I was worried about the girl in 2B. He looked confused. "There's no one in 2B. It's been empty for 3 months. He let me inside. Empty room. Mattress on the floor. No furniture. Just one thing. A message scratched into the wall near the bed. It said, "Still here. Outro. 6:30 plus." These stories may be short, but the fear they leave behind can linger for a lifetime. Which one chilled you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you've experienced something strange, don't keep it to yourself. We're always watching. Fade to black.